Hey there, you want to know what the 6 signs are that you have defeated that narcissist? Stay tuned and I'm going to give them to you. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a lawyer. I am a narcissist negotiation expert. And on this channel and in these videos, I give you tips and tricks on how to smack down that narcissist in negotiations and in real life as well. So if that is something that you are looking to do, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. All right, so let's talk about ways to defeat that narcissist, or the signs that you have defeated that narcissist. Actually, like, okay, you're negotiating with them and you're trying to figure out like how it's going. Are you close? Have you defeated them? Do you think that you're kind of on the way to defeating them? Because sometimes it's maybe hard to tell because they don't want you to know. Obviously, I mean, they want it to look like they're winning at all costs and at all times, and they're never going to let on. I mean, even if they're like losing badly and things aren't going their way, and you're like showing them evidence that things aren't going their way, they're still going to say, I'm winning, it's going my way. It totally is. I mean, because that's how they've gotten along in life all along. You can show them, hey, look, these text messages show that you've been cheating. And nope, that's not what that says. That's how they get along. And I mean, I was actually just talking to one of my private clients recently, and she was telling me that she really appreciated one of my recent videos, which was 4 signs that the narcissist is losing control, which you can check out yourself if you'd like. And she said she loved that video because she was like, okay, like a lot of times, she was saying, I'm afraid, I don't want them to lose control. I'm afraid of doing things that are going to make them lose control. And I don't want that to happen. But actually, she could see that that meant that she was starting to get there, that she was starting to make headway, that she was starting to cover ground, that she was getting closer to her goal of where she wanted to be. So that it was actually okay that in this case, she was dealing with a husband, but sometimes you're dealing with a business partner. I've actually dealt with quite a few situations where people are dealing with maybe a family member in a probate situation, something like that. But it's okay if they're actually starting to lose control, because that means that they are showing signs of being defeated as well. And so you don't necessarily need to fear that. And also remember that they have conditioned you. They have conditioned you to believe that they are winners, that you don't know what you're doing, that you don't know how to think, that they do, that they're smarter, that you can't trust your thoughts, that you can only trust what they think. They've really conditioned you to believe that. And a lot of times, your thoughts, things that you think are actually your thoughts, are actually thoughts that they have conditioned you to believe. Okay. So 6 signs that you're starting to defeat that narcissist. Number 1 is they're going to start love bombing you again. They're going to start coming back. So, what happens is they start going back to that well of things that worked for them in the past. They don't have a whole lot of tricks in their arsenal. They have their things that worked for them, so they go back to whatever it was that worked for them in the past. I mean, they have these patterns, they have these playbooks that worked. And that's why, it's kind of interesting. I mean, when you start to study what they're like, they're pretty predictable in the sense that you kind of can tell how they're going to behave, even though it's pretty awful, but you can pretty much tell how they're going to behave. So they'll start off kind of small, and then they'll kind of work up to the things that, when it's really bad defeat. Okay. So, the love bombing might start be the first kind of sign. Then the next thing is, okay, that didn't work. So let me go to the next thing. And that's when they start to get a little bit more desperate. So they start to flood you. They start to flood you with the text messages, show up at your house, show up at your office. You might start to see some crazy texts. At this point, you might start to see some, little undertones of not so nice texts, or maybe some even like threatening sort of language in the communications that you're receiving. So that, it's starting to ramp up just slightly. You're starting to feel that heat rise because they're starting to feel, like it's coming. All right. So that's number 2. Number 3 is they start saying and doing all sorts of weird things. Like, this is where you start to see, like, where they kind of start to get like a little bit desperate, where they start to, get a little bit crazy. And so sometimes you'll start to see them just say weird things like, okay, where did that come from? Okay. They get a little bit outlandish sometimes. And so that's, how it kind of starts. Like they get a little bit crazier, and until they're just, full crazy and into collapse, and they've just become undone. And, by the way, the mini series with Hugh Grant and doing great example of that whole thing. And I actually did a whole video on that if you want to check it out. Really great example of that whole thing. And so, okay, so those first 3 are all about them. It's all about the narcissists themselves. And so those are all signs that you've defeated the narcissist, and that's about the narcissists themselves. So the last 3 I want to kind of focus on, signs you've defeated the narcissist. I want to focus on you, signs that you've defeated the narcissist, but focusing on you, because that's really when you know that you've defeated the narcissist, because you feel it on this side of the fence. All right. So number 4 is, that you've defeated the narcissist because you're no longer emotionally triggered. It's like they say things that normally in the past would have gotten you all like upset. It's like, Superman with the bullets that just pop off your chest, or Wonder Woman, they just like went right off your wrist, and you're like, did somebody say something? I thought I heard something, but nothing. I got nothing. It didn't even like faze me at all. Nothing. Like when you're not emotionally triggered by that at all, you've actually defeated the narcissist. Okay. That's number 4. Number 5 is you get what you want. You get what you want in the negotiation, but you've taken your ego out of it. What do I mean by that? That means that you've ethically manipulated the manipulator. They think they've gotten away with something. You've let them on to believe that they won, that they got something out of you, and you actually manipulated them into taking exactly what you wanted them to take. So, and you do your best Meryl Streep or Al Pacino or whatever it is, and you went, oh my God, I can't believe, this is all terrible, whatever. And because you took your ego out of it, because you know what, they have to feel like they won. And that's how it goes. It's okay. It's fine. That's going to be how it is. You have to let them think it's their idea, or whatever it is. Okay. So that's number 5. Number 6, the last one is, this is the best one, really. And that is, you no longer have any fear. You no longer have any fear in interacting with them whatsoever. Not only it's no emotion, you have no fear in interacting with them. You receive emails from them, you see them, you talk to them, you have no fear. And I get so many emails from people who've done my programs, who've watched my videos, all the things that I've told you guys to do. And then you tell me that that's the miracle. Yeah, you've gotten the outcomes you wanted, all those things. But the miracle is that the fear has disappeared. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to write in the comments, no fear, because that's your goal in defeating that narcissist. And where do you start? You start by getting my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. You join me in my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. Come join me there. And of course, like this video, share it, drop me that comment, tell me no fear, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. We're here for you. Today is the first day to start negotiating your best life, as always. And thank you so much for stopping by. And I will definitely see you in the next video.